Hey guys, welcome back. It's the KANU Chronicles, and I'm your host Nate, aka Crash. Just starting this off, this is episode 198, and we're going to be just continuing with the NBA playoff talk. Just going to start it off solocast wise. Real quick, guys, if you want to follow me, you could follow me on Twitter at KANU Chronicles and on Instagram at GRTN8. Great Nate. So it's also going to be in the show notes, so go ahead and follow there. Kim should be on the podcast later, I'm hoping. But either way, we'll make this happen. So I think we left off on Thursday. So since then, it's been pretty much, today's Sunday, so there's a Milwaukee and Raptors game. Game 3, it's about to start in about probably 20 minutes, less than 20 minutes. And, basically the Warriors and the Bucks have been dominant in each of the series. Last night with the Warriors and Blazers, the Blazers actually had no business losing that game. They should have won, but they just couldn't close. They can't finish, it seems. Just don't have enough. I don't know. Lillard played terrible. I don't even know what to say, man. It's just looked terrible. So both of these conference finals aren't living up to what we were hoping, maybe. But we'll see. Maybe today the Raptors will be the one to at least make it interesting. But I don't know. Milwaukee's just looking damn good. So that's pretty much where we're at so far with that. I'm going to stop for now, and hopefully when you keep listening here in a quick pause, you'll be hearing me talking with Broski more about this. All right, so we're back on, guys. Just myself right now. It looks that way. Toronto and the Bucks just ended a little bit ago, went to double overtime, and the Raptors pulled it out 118 to whatever the fuck it was, just a few points, double overtime. So they stay somewhat relevant at 2-1, but I saw a decent amount of the game, and definitely a good game, but the Raptors, it's like they were doing things to try to almost lose. I mean, they really had to fight hard for that one. So we'll see, but I just don't have much faith in them or Portland, especially Portland at this point. Coming, 3-0, I don't see it. So that's where we're at. It's not too much to talk about with it. It's not, all this is kind of, like I said, not super exciting. Plus, like I said, it's just me right now. I don't have Kim to bounce off of. But, but this game looked pretty, like I said, I think this game looked better than yesterday's game. But I'll be checking out the highlights. It's just, it's just goofy. Just get used to how some of these teams play and all that. But there was a lot of hustle out there for sure on both sides of the ball. So we'll see. At least we're getting to that point. Almost there. But to go into other sports, we'll go into hockey a little bit. I was going to say the Bruins, they're in the Stanley Cup. They will be in the Stanley Cup. They're waiting for the Blues or the Sharks. And right now the Blues got ahead today. They just whooped the Sharks really bad, 5-0, and a shutout, which is huge in hockey. And 5 goals is really big. So we'll see. It might be St. Louis versus Boston, but see what happens. I think the next game's Tuesday. So NHL, NBA, getting down to the wire. And then baseball, not a whole lot, to say. I was gonna, I'll get into some baseball, but I'll usually mention the Dodgers or the Pirates, since those are kind of my two teams. Their Dodgers are doing really good, which is awesome. Thank God. We'll see, but they've had two chances at the World Series, so I don't know. Will this be year 3? They could finally get over that hump, or what? Pirates have been playing a little better. They were struggling there just recently, but they seem to have been turning it around. But, for being a low-budget team, they're somewhat, they're doing well enough. They're only 2.5 games back out of their division. So, there's some fight going on there. But it's a long, long season, so we got a lot of time to talk about that. I don't have anything else to break down in terms of people and players and everything else. So just going to keep it simple at that. And if you hear me tapping away, I'm still just doing a little extra time. So that's what you hear. But anyways, I'm going to stop for now, and I'll be back. All right. All right, cool, guys. So we're here talking to Kim. Going to get into the recap of the weekend. Yeah, talk about the weekend
was crazy.
Just for the whole weekend, yeah, because
crazy. We had some fights. I didn't get to see the UFC stuff. I got to look that up, but I forgot who was fighting. Oh, it was Dos Anjos and Kevin Lee were fighting. I didn't even speak on that, but I did watch the fight with Braezille and
Wilder. Yeah, who didn't see that? You didn't even have to see nothing. I said, who didn't see it? It was just a knockout. There was nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, what, man? First round knockout, too. I mean, blister. Pow!
Man.
Damn. Yeah.
He caught him. Man, he caught him good.
Man. Hard punch.
Like somebody was saying that this is the best, heavyweight guy that we've seen, for an American since Tyson had, put it down like that.
Yes.
I agree for sure.
I hope he just has a big fight, y'all.
Yeah, well,
it's not Joshua. He got to fight Joshua. There's nothing else to be said. He got to fight Joshua. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but he has to fight Joshua. I mean, all the rest of this fighting Tyson Fury, all this other bullshit. No, he got to fight Joshua. That's the next fight. If that fight don't happen, then I don't want to hear anything from either one of them until they fight.
Yeah,
there's no reason for them to do anything else but fight each other. That's it. He did his thing. Now I think Joshua has to fight somebody or some bullshit or whatever. But
right,
yeah, that's it. They need to fight.
So that went down, and then so getting back to NBA, we're gonna rewind, go back to what would it be? Saturday.
Yeah, to Golden State.
Well, really, all the way to even fucking Friday.
Okay, so that'd be.
Hold on, let me pull it up. It's probably the Bucks again, yeah, because they alternated every day. So. That was when they blew them out. The Bucks blew out the Raptors.
Yeah, just beat them up bad. Beat them up real bad.
Mm-hmm. That was the second game. And then yesterday, Portland had a chance, and this is where they should have been able to make it 2-1. And I watched pretty good amount of it. I watched the replay when I got home. And they totally gave that to Golden State. That's all I got to say about that.
At the end of the game, it kind of fell apart, dude.
Yeah. No, they were just handing it to them.
Yeah.
So soft. I was like, and what is this a? What is this a? I feel like the NBA like now. I mean, it has been for a while, but right now it's like it's a moving Foot Locker commercial out there.
What do you mean?
The fucking shoes, man. The fucking pink shoe and a fucking orange shoe.
Yeah. You know, and I was telling somebody else this too.
The turquoise. Hey, there's some nice ones. I'm not trying to hate on that part, but it's fucking weird, man.
I just think it should be uniform. You guys don't want these guys sitting on the bench without ties and really looking suited and booted. But in the game, they can wear whatever the fuck they want. You know, I just think if I'm a blue or white team, I should wear shoes accordingly. That's all, man. I don't like these orange shoes and light blue shoes and fucking.
It's kind of distracting to me, man.
Yes, I mean it's easy to find the guy.
Yeah, that part. That's true. That's true.
Most of the stars are the one wearing the off-color shoes.
Yeah, there's some kind of shoe deal going on. Something NBA and something. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I mean, obviously, it works. It's working for them. It's just I was just being funny. I was just like watching it in a certain way, and I was just like, this is like a fucking Foot Locker commercial, man.
Yeah, exactly. Watch these shoes. Like, oh my God. It's like, I can't help but watch the shoes. Everybody else got on regular colors. Mother got on some neon green fucking shoes. It's like, oh my God.
I was waiting for them to show, like, to put a little cryon, on the visual, to put up a little, like, now at Foot Locker for this much, with the close up.
Yeah.
Like a little. I'm waiting for the little pop up ad to come up next. Yeah,
I'm not feeling you can stop the game, push on the guy's shoes, move them over, and just buy them right there. I want to buy these shoes.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous, man. But yeah, other than that, oh my God, that is getting a little terrible with that shit. A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's all good. I was just just throwing in some funny shit about it. I was kind of.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I wish it was more uniform.
Yeah.
I thought it should be, but it's not.
So anyways, yeah, definitely. Yeah, the Blazers looks it doesn't look good for anything. I don't know if they'll win. I don't think
they're gonna win a game. I was really hoping they were gonna pull one out and prove me wrong, but I think they're gonna get swept.
Yeah.
I just don't think they had the firepower to hang with Golden State.
No, they don't quite have the firepower. They don't have it.
Even if they do, nobody likes to do what Golden State likes to do is pass the ball that one extra time or. And then I'm thinking like, wow.
Well, it's not even. They don't even have to do that. Blazers, both the Raptors at times. Well, I don't know about the Raptors all the time, but I would say to some extent, obviously. But Blazers in particular, they just leave too many shots out there that they need to get. I mean, it's like, you can't. There's certain things in winning games that the teams that know how to win just do. And they're not doing it right now in these situations. They're just like coming up. They're just coming up short too often. Not taking advantage of certain situations and turning.
You're up by like 15 points, 10 points, whatever. I don't know how you let that slip away when all you have to do is trade baskets. I was like, damn, dude, you guys stop shooting fucking threes. Stop. It's like, man, like just that extra pass or just an extra move. They don't seem to do that. It's weird. When I watch it, I'm like,
well, just execute what you're going for, man. Get that shit.
Yeah, I see them like, it's like, okay, they'll come down the floor, and they're like, okay, they'll hurry and take a weird shot. It's like, dude, work the ball around a little bit. You stop taking these long ass shots. Lillard takes a shot like hard. He just walks over and take the fucking shot. Like, come on, dude. You gotta stop that shit. You gotta stop it. They gotta stop it. But like I said, I don't see Portland doing shit anyway. I don't see them doing nothing. And I think they're undersized too.
Yeah. No, they definitely are. they're definitely undersized.
I think they're a little undersized. I think they're undersized, underpowered. They're just not a great team.
Yeah.
I mean, to be where they are,
they would have it, but they have one of the big guys is out. He got hurt just recently, so that was huge. So that could have been different had he been in.
A lot different. But they still doing great for them to be.
Oh yeah, no, like they shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't. Well, I want to say another thing. Portland fans, hey, let me give you some advice. Would you guys sound one time when there's a playoffs and it's at home? Can I hear more confidence out there? I'm talking even from the beginning, dude. I remember seeing and hearing this kind of shit before with their crowds, bro. They sound like any little thing that happens wrong, they start sounding like, oh no, we're gonna lose.
Yeah. Well, they ain't defeated.
Oh my god, they kill me, dude.
They're defeated. They're Portland, dude. Come on, man. Portland.
They've been beat, but it just shows because they've had so much.
Come on, man. It's Portland. It's Portland, dude.
Man, it drives me nuts though. I'm like, oh, you guys are killing me. And you know what else it is too? The Ducks are always short too, and so it's like not just in professional, but just all around they get kind of hosed.
What's that?
Their college team, the Ducks, even they come up short. So.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, I mean, it's not Portland Ducks, but Oregon. That's like,
Oregon Ducks, yeah.
So they're really good, but they always end up. Yeah, they haven't like. I don't know when they. I don't think they won a national championship. But they're always been touted or try to get them.
Yeah.
But it's like, nah, man. like that's why Alabama and all those teams shit, come on, man. Ain't happening, not now. But so yeah, Portland. Even if they win the next game, that would just be like that would just be kind of a slow death,
I don't see it. I don't see them winning. They had a chance. The last game they had a chance, and I don't know if it's let it slip through their fingers or it was just it's just like they stopped trading baskets. They had got up, and then they stopped playing that real busy defense.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was weird how it just stopped. It just stopped.
Yeah, it like just disappeared or something. Yeah.
Yeah. 1 minute they were like Golden State couldn't get their feet under them. Then all of a sudden it was like. then it was like they had their feet under them, and here they go. Here they go.
Yeah, they can't match.
Points.
They also can't match the intensity Golden State has.
Yeah.
They don't have the personnel to quite match in that way. They're not. I think they're kind of soft.
And they gotta stop. And I'm hating this from everybody. Stop complaining to the fucking ref. If you don't hear a whistle, keep fucking playing, man. Stop throwing your hands up, yelling at the ref. You didn't see that? Obviously you didn't. You didn't whistle. You didn't hear a fucking whistle. Just keep playing. The fuck, man. You spend all your time doing that dumb shit. They done went down and scored. They're not doing that. So I've been tired of seeing that shit, but throwing their hands up. What, you see that? No, motherfucker. Obviously, I didn't see it. If I saw it, I blew the whistle. Okay, so let's play. Why you down by 10 points now? Hollering at me and shit, man. Go play, shit. So I'm getting tired of that shit. And I get it. I get it, especially when it's going on the whole fucking game. Come on, you guys. You don't see that shit? No, dude. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Yeah,
man. Well, it just becomes, it's something that teams and players have to like. Well, really, the players themselves. It really comes down to the player, but it's like you got to start realizing how that can hurt your whole flow. If you could figure out how to not do that as much, or just play the game and keep your head in. It's going to help things because doing too much of that, it's distracting.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, man. It's like I don't even see how the coach let that shit go on. I'll be like, dude, the next time I catch you over there complaining, you're out. Okay, That's it. If I catch you over there, next time you make a big deal about some dumb shit, I'm taking you out the fucking game. But they can't. Of course, they're not gonna do no shit like that. So
right.
That's not gonna happen. So you're not gonna shut that shit up. So
for real.
Yeah, but so yeah, Golden State. That's over.
Oh yeah, no, that's over. That's over. No matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be. Hey, it'd be dope. Blazers somehow win 2 games. You know.
That'd be awesome. That'd be fucking awesome.
It'd be like, Golden State would be like, man, every one of these motherfuckers win 2 games. What the fuck? Yeah.
That would be nice.
That would be fun. That would be fun. That's my attitude. Blazers, if you want to win, which I'm sure, of course you do, you're competitors, but you should be, well, obviously they have to be thinking, no, we got to win 4 in a row, it's like, good luck with that one. Good luck with that one. But, hey, if you think that way, you might just get 2,
Man, if you guys can just get 2 out of it.
Get 2?
I'll be happy.
Yeah, and you get, your fan base feels more happy and,
Instead of saying, man, we got swept out, now we got to go look in the market, we got to trade some people, we got to do this, see, you shouldn't do that.
All that bullshit.
It's not a bad team as it is.
No. They're gonna, this isn't like, it's not gonna, even if they would be in a better series, it wouldn't be shocking. It's not like Portland, anybody's gonna be shocked, like, oh my god, the Blazers lost. It's like they're playing the Warriors. They're like, come on, man.
Yeah. I mean,
like the Warriors are the Bulls of today. They are the Lakers of the early. They're all those type of teams. They are that.
They're that fucking.
They're that team right now. They're like they're becoming the Patriots of the NBA.
Yes.
They could literally be in that, in that same realm. I mean, no matter what changes come up, they definitely could turn out through Curry's career having 6-7 championships.
Yeah, I can see that.
They could be that ridiculous. Yep.
And legitimately, they may just get like 5. I mean, they may.
Five is hard. 5's hard. So
5 is hard. 3 is fucking hard, but they got 3. They got 3. They mixed them up a little bit. They had 1, then they missed 1, then they came back 1 too.
Yeah,
or something like that. However they did.
Yeah, they get this. They get this 1 4. Man, that's wow.
Man, it'll be an even bigger feather in their cap. It'll be a bigger feather in their cap if they win it without Durant.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
I think so.
For sure.
Not saying anything against Durant. I'm just saying
no.
It'll be a good if they go ahead and win. Like he don't come back for this series.
Even Durant's like, go ahead, win with I'll still get that ring too.
yes, dude.
It still counts. It still counts. Yeah, it still counts, motherfucker.
So no, it ain't like we just gonna be like.
Yeah, it ain't. Dude, it's like, bro, I clocked in at what was it, October 28, whatever the first game is of the season, and actually preseason. I clocked in on the punch clock, and hey, I got hurt on the job, so I still made it all the way to this point, man. So
he made it all the way.
I made it all the way, so I get a ring. Full shit.
Well, yeah, you get a ring.
But he'll be playing. I think he'll be playing.
See, man, that motherfucker's sitting. I bet he's at home right now, just pumping his leg and just doing whatever he got to do to get back in the fucking game.
He'll be playing. But but it's no stress, man. He could come back. They're talking about Cousins might be coming back pretty soon. Actually, before him.
They don't need Cousins. It was another mistake.
Man. Shit, if he could come back, go ahead, put his ass in there. Fuck it.
No, I'm just saying,
They'll use him. They won't even use him much. You okay over there?
Yeah, fine. No, when they got him, I was just like, okay, why? I mean, the team is already like some kind of super video game fucking team, and what do you need Cousins for? You don't need him. And then he went over there and damaged goods. He went over there hurt. He's not been right for.
I know, but I think they just use him as a body. I don't even think they've used him much this year. I don't even know.
They haven't. He's been hurt, and it's like, dude, what do we need you for?
Yeah.
We don't need a long guy on the floor doing nothing. We got 3 guys that do that. I don't see it. I don't see why they got him. But hey, like you said, put his ass out there.
Hell yeah, I would.
Put his ass out there. I would too. Put him out there.
Damn. Shit. That mug's getting 16 million a year, man. 17.
Who was that, Cousins?
Yeah. In 2017.
Well,
yeah.
That's that big ass contract the Kings gave him, so that's all that is.
No, that's from the Pelicans.
No, the Pelicans gave him a big ass contract.
Yeah, let's see, points. 16 points. He played in 30 games this year.
30 fucking games out of 80 fucking games. He played in 30.
Yeah, he did a quarter, yeah. Free throw.
That's
yeah,
ridiculous.
Yeah, his average was 16.
16 points a game?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's.
It's down from what when at his highest point a few years ago was 27.
27. Well, yeah, he's a beast. He is a fucking beast.
But they don't need to use him like that, so. They
don't need his ass. They don't need. Let him go somewhere where they can use. They don't need his ass.
I know.
They don't need him.
Get him with LeBron, man. Right?
Yeah, there you go. Put him somewhere else, man. Somewhere where he can actually play.
No, send him to Phoenix. Send him to the Suns. They're coming up.
There you go. You go somewhere where he can play. He ain't gonna play in fucking Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he get 100%, he's not gonna be. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about it? When do you really need this motherfucker? When do we need his ass? You know what I'm saying? We don't need him. You know, need him for what? For what? You know, we need a big body in there. Okay, put Looney in there. We need some more shooting. Put so and so in there. I mean, you don't need him. He's just. I'm not thinking any reason. Okay, we need him for this. No, you don't. You don't need him. You know, got nothing against him. Just don't need him. That's all.
Wow, he's signing with the Warriors. Cousins will sign a $5.3 million deal with the Warriors, so that's what he signed for.
He signed for what?
5.3.
5.3 years or 5.3 mil?
5.3 million for 1 year.
That's what he signed for?
Just 1 year with the Warriors, yeah.
Oh yeah, well he'll do it 1 year. Then, but that's the thing is his stock is down.
They said this.
Is way down.
192 players made more last season than Boogie will this season.
I don't, like I said.
So he's way down.
I just don't. I don't see why they got him. I would let him go somewhere else.
Lillard gets 26.
I didn't do nothing, man.
Damn, Carmelo still gets 26. Fuck.
Yeah, well, he still got a big ass contract, man. That's really, oh my God. I don't get it. If they keep threatening he's gonna come back to the league, I don't know why. We don't need his ass in the league for what?
Carmelo?
We don't need Carmelo. Carmelo, he's wasted, dude. He don't play defense. We don't need another motherfucker that's shooting baskets. We need him over to play defense.
Let's figure it out. We got to put him on a D-League squad or something, man.
Well, no, I mean, you can put him in the league, but I mean, put him on a team that needs somebody like that. And when I don't know where he should go.
Put him in Sacramento.
Yeah, does he want to go to Sacramento? You know what I'm saying?
Fuck where he wants to go, man. Put his ass in Sacramento. Shit.
Sacramento would be perfect.
Yep.
I wouldn't put him. I wouldn't send him to Brooklyn. I wouldn't send him to Boston. I wouldn't send him to no top tier team, man. I send him someplace that
Sacramento is getting good, so. But it's like fuck it. What is it gonna hurt? They're still not gonna have to use him a whole lot. He'll be out of a spotlight type. I don't know. It might be a place where he might actually do okay. You never know.
Man, that motherfucker happen. That kind of money he's getting, he'd be playing. Fuck that.
Send him to Phoenix,
yes.
Sacramento. Send him to
the Pelicans.
Send him to the Spurs. Popovich, and no problem. He could deal with his ass.
Oh hell yeah, the Popovich. Any place like that, man.
Popovich would be like, Carmelo, I just need 12 minutes from you, man. That's it.
Dude, you can give me 6 minutes. You sit your dead ass over there and give me 6 minutes. Give a fuck. You ain't never got to play. They can take the shit up and sit there in the bench. I don't care. Because we going to win without you. We going to win. We'll throw without you. We going to win.
Shit. Pelicans, yep, he can go over there. Fuck it. Team up with Anthony Davis. They can both be dysfunctional together. Just be fuck it.
And be done. Be done.
End up making a great team down there. You'd be like, damn.
Like a monster team. Boy, all of a sudden that nigga Carmelo be like Carmelo, that nigga that came from nowhere.
Carmelo's averaging 30 points a game. Like, what? Getting 10 rebounds, 3 assists.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, fuck Carmelo. Like, what the fuck, man? You ain't doing shit. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. But they'll do that. They'll let a motherfucker go instead of keeping it. But they keep saying how Carmelo was great in the locker room. Everybody likes him.
Right.
He's not a prick. So what's the problem? I guess they say like, dude, we don't need another big nigga sitting around and just shooting the ball. We need somebody playing defense.
Yeah, well, it's obviously, his hustle and his play out there is not. It just hasn't. He hasn't fit with the team. It's just his. Yeah. He's not as viable. Something's wrong.
He should be in Indiana somewhere where he can just spot up and shoot. That's where he needs to be. Run down the floor. Don't play no fucking defense. Just get in a little corner spot, shoot the ball. Mm-hmm. That's what you should do. Every now and again, if you want to slash in and do some shit, go ahead. Other than that, fuck you. I don't know. You get $26 million a year, nigga. You should be doing something, I think.
Hell yeah, 26, man.
You be a coach or something, nigga. Play a coach, nigga. You be wearing like half a suit, half a fucking uniform, nigga. You be out there, nigga. Suit up, nigga. Go take that top off and go in the game, nigga. Shit.
Right.
But no, we rather sit around and just be overpriced beef and shit. We don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. We got zillions of dollars. We'll pay you. Who's paying his last contract? New York is, right? No. What was the last team he was with?
The last big contract?
Was New York?
I think it was. I hear Tracy back there.
Yeah, she back here choking it up. I hear Tracy back there coughing. You're on the podcast.
Shout out to Tracy on the podcast.
Yep, you're on the podcast. Tracy on the podcast talking about 420 forever and shit. Motherfucker ain't even close to 420 no more.
No, the Atlanta Hawks, $25 million. Yep.
That was the last team he was with.
That was the last big money, $25 million, and then, he was with them, and then the Bulls. Damn.
He was with the Bulls.
I'm confused. No. Oh, here we go. No. Oklahoma. I don't know what the fuck that's all about.
OKC, yeah, he played with OKC.
Okay. Okay. So OKC was 26. And then before that, the Knicks was the big contract. Wow. Got the cough.
The Knicks made him get that big ass 100 and so was it 110?
Man. Sound like you eating hot wings and coughing.
Yeah, I'm dying. What they give him over in New York? 110, some shit like that.
Yeah,
right?
because it was from 2010 all the way to 17, and it was a lot. It's like 15, 17, 20. It got progressively higher. So yeah, it was a good $100 million contract or something.
He got the big contract right after what's her name?
So Oklahoma. I don't know about Oklahoma if that was separate though.
The what now?
I said Oklahoma. I don't know. I wonder. I guess they absorbed it from them. I don't know. From
Yeah,
the
they
Knicks.
always do that. We know they always do that.
Yeah.
But they absorb the contract. But I'm like, God damn. So, but they always have to, I guess, give him some type of incentive. I guess it is.
Yeah.
Right. That's where he gets the 25 from because they add to that.
Huh.
Wow, I didn't even know that. Though. I thought it was just like, okay, your contract is $120 million. So wherever you go.
Yeah, well, it basically goes as far as that contract, and then once that's over with, then it just becomes whatever he's worth at the time, you know.
Yeah.
I think because
I got it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how.
I got it. Yeah, that's how it goes. That's it. Because that ain't gonna last forever. Because you say like, if he was in New York for like 4 years, the contract was pretty much almost over.
Yeah, if it's 4, yeah, it was more than 4 years, but.
But I'm just saying, we just say he was there for 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And that contract, whatever they gave him, is pretty much almost over. When he goes to the next place, they say, well, we'll give you like $25 million.
Well, he got a big. Yeah, that was big, man.
But still, he's making a lot of fucking money though.
So he.
Wow.
It was 120. It was a 5-year, $124 million deal.
Yeah, because Garnett was the first one to get that big fucking super deal, and then it was Carmelo, and then Kobe. Oh my God, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, LeBron, because LeBron and Carmelo were in the same year when they came in, basically, or they, or pretty close.
LeBron didn't get that huge ass contract at first. He got a big contract from.
Well, he got the shoe that was Adidas.
Yeah, he got the.
Wasn't it Adidas at first?
I forgot which shoe it was, but I know he got a huge ass contract.
Yeah, it was like $80 million or something.
Yeah, it wasn't for no fucking basketball. Basketball was just a regular contract. He got probably like $30 million or some shit like that.
It was good. Yeah, it was still good, but then he got his big.
I think, but that wasn't the contract. It was that shoe deal was his thing. Now later on, I don't know what he got later on, but
he got paid. Yeah.
Yeah, of course he did. But the one who really got fucking paid was Garnett. He was the one that got that super deal.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Carmelo after him.
Yeah.
But it was a long time though. That's what it was. His deal didn't really make that much sense. It was a long fucking time.
Yeah. That was the difference. It was like a 10-year deal at the time.
Something like that. It was long because we was like, God damn, it's a long ass deal.
Yeah.
You know, for that money. That's what I was saying. Going like, God damn, then they started shortening them up. They were still giving them the big contract, but the years were getting shorter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you wouldn't see those 10-year deals. It was like 5 years at the most. You know, they wasn't doing 10 years no more. Yeah, Garnett and Miller and Malone was the last ones to get those elongated ass contracts.
Kevin Garnett's career earnings $326 million.
See, that's why you didn't hear nothing from him. Nothing.
Hell yeah, and he got his ring.
You didn't hear shit from him. Nothing.
No.
You didn't hear about Kevin Garnett beating people up, going to the booty club, all this old dumb shit. You don't hear none of that shit from Kevin Garnett. No, you don't. I mean, you probably do, but you don't hear nothing about it. You ain't nothing about it.
He's paying for shit. Yeah, he's paying for whatever he needs to get away with.
Yeah, whatever he's getting away with, he's paying for it. He ain't got to worry. He ain't worried about nothing.
He's handing out tips left and right out there.
Man, big tips too.
Big tips. He's giving out.
Man, $1,000 tip, nigga. Damn,
man, he's giving $20,000 tips and shit.
Man, it only costs $5, nigga. I don't care. Here, take this.
Let's take this shit, man.
Keep it change, nigga. The change is like $2,000.
He just drives around with bags in there and just gives them out.
Man, he don't care.
Take that shit, homie.
You don't hear nothing from him. Nothing.
Here's $20,000.
Nothing from him.
Damn. Okay, it was a 6-year, $126 million extension during the 97-98 season he was 21.
Who was that, Garnett?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
By the final year, he was making $28 million.
See? That's crazy. Let me see why that motherfucker.
And then it led to his second $100 million contract extension with the Wolves, which was a 5-year deal for $100 million. So altogether, that was over
200-something thousand.
Yeah.
200-something million.
And then after the third year of that contract, Garnett was traded to the Celtics, having already made $181 million with the Timberwolves. He was just 31 at the time.
See, and right there, he was at his. I wouldn't say your peak as an athlete. I think it's like 25 to 30. You know, so once you get to like 30, 31, 30 to 35, it's like, to me, it's like your veteran years. Is like you're still very viable. You know, you can like Ray Allen. You can still contribute to a team. You know what I'm saying? You can still be the number one guy. All that. You know. So yeah, he was at the perfect age when he went over to Boston. Perfect age. He was 31. Yep, and he had made fucking almost $200 million from fucking Minnesota. So of course he can't talk bad about Minnesota.
Man,
he can't.
No,
he can't do it. He can't do it.
Let's see, T-Wolves. So he's become, yeah, and he went back in 2015. At the time, the plan was to play 2 more seasons for rebuilding the T-Wolves and then form a group with coach and team president Flip Saunders to buy the team using the more than $300 million he already made as a player.
Oh, he was going to buy the fucking team.
Yeah. He decided to play at least 1 more season, possibly 2, sign a 2-year contract for $16 million. Garnett, who now is 40, has decided not to play the second year of his contract. As part of that, he took a front office job for the 2016-2017 season. Garnett is now walking away from his playing days, having made $326 million in his storied career, slightly more than Kobe Bryant, who just retired, making $323 million.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
Kobe stayed with one team though, so you can't.
Yeah.
Can't talk shit.
Yeah, and he got five rings.
And he got 5 fucking rings.
Rings.
Yes, he can walk up with that like that. Hey, what's up, nigga? I got these rings, nigga. I got these rings. You gonna play with me this year, nigga?
Shit, Garnett will say it. Garnett will say it to Kobe before Kobe would say it. He probably walks up to Kobe and goes, "Hey, rings."
Got them rings. Hey, man, ring.
What's up, rings? What's up, rings?
What's up, ring, nigga? What's up, rings?
I call you Kobe Rings. Kobe's like, okay, I get it. Chill out, man.
Yeah, man, calm down, dude. Calm down.
You're embarrassing me and shit. Oh, man.
Crazy.
Shit's hilarious, man.
Man.
Yeah, big money. Big money.
Man.
So yeah, that's pretty much what's up. So tomorrow night we have the sweeping.
Well, tonight we had the Bucks. We had the Bucks tonight. We didn't even talk about the Bucks.
Oh, we didn't get into the Bucks, huh? Okay,
Yeah.
so Bucks and Raptors tonight just happened. A double overtime. Went to double overtime. Bucks lose 112-118. Raptors now got it 2-1. So now they got something. Hopefully they could, they got another game at home, so they got some mojo going on right now, so to speak.
Well, we hope they do something, man. I think no. I'm with you. I think no.
What's that?
I think it's over. I think it's over for
The Raptors?
The Raptors and for goddamn, I can't think right now. Golden State is playing Portland. Yeah, Portland and Toronto. I think they're done.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Well, the Raptors tonight, they let this game get too deep. I mean, to go to double overtime. If they can just tighten that up that much more in the next game, I mean, they have to have they have to really get a good, convincing win, the next game. Win by 10. Win by 10, yes. 10 points, 12 points, something like that. Be in control. I mean, they were pretty much in control this game, but I just get disappointed of how they let things melt down when the Bucks weren't particularly playing that great. So they wasn't, man. They really wasn't. Yeah, they just again the Raptors are much like the Blazers, not taking advantage of points where they should have got them, and just sloppy here and there. But they still played really. I'd say they definitely. I mean, obviously they definitely played much better, and to still win in a double overtime, that's a hard fought good win. But yeah, you don't. I wouldn't want to have that happen the next game. So, but they were handling Giannis out there, so.
Yeah, I see how they know how to play him now. They know how to play him, but like I'm saying, he's not the only one you have to worry about. You got to worry about Lopez. You got to worry about fucking
Mitriak and stuff, and.
Man, it's too much. They got too many.
They got the other Eastern Bloc guy. I mean, they got some assassins. Yeah, the Bucks are sneaky, man. They you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't. It's like
Toronto beat them tonight. I gotta watch the end of the game because I didn't even know it went into.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the double overtime. I just ended up. I watched the end and then I just was like, "Fuck this," and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go walk," and I just stopped watching it. And then I looked back on. And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Well, that's good. I'm glad they won."
Shit, I went to fucking sleep. I woke up, the game was off, and I was like, God damn it. And it was like double overtime. I was like, shit, now I got to wait for the replay to come on. Which will probably be on later on, so.
Right.
I'll be able to watch. I just want to see what happens. I know they don't ever show you the whole fucking game, but I can get a gist of what happened at the end. That's all I wanted to listen to what happened at the end of the game. Yeah, but she ain't even smoking right now.
That's hilarious.
She just coughing. She both got colds, man, and she ping pong a cold to me. Now I'm sick.
Yeah.
Shit. Man, I feel terrible.
You gotta get some cough medicine up in there.
No. Some honey. I don't that bullshit. I just need to get rid of this shit, honey. Man. Yeah, I got honey and tea and all that shit. And I made a mistake and drank coffee this morning. I'm gonna do that again. I can't drink coffee because I got the creamer,
Yeah.
I can't drink coffee black. That's bullshit. No.
Yeah.
I don't like the flavor of coffee that much,
Right.
So, anyway. But yeah, so we got these playoffs coming up. We got the last.
Yeah, we got this last week before the finals, so.
Yeah, this is it. This is it right here. But I think Golden State got they on their third game, right? This will be.
No, Golden
State game coming up.
Yeah.
This is 4 coming up, right?
Tomorrow night, 6 p.m.
Okay, that's it.
Tomorrow night, 6 p.m.
Yeah, that's it for them. Portland, I mean, now we know Toronto going to have an extra game. So we already know that's not going to be a sweep.
So what's the damage with the Warriors? How much are they going to beat down the Blazers, do you believe?
Tomorrow, I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be like maybe 109 to 107, some shit like that. I don't think it's going to be I think I just in my mind, I want to say it's going to be 125 to 85, some shit like that. But I think Portland's going to be scrappy. I think they're going to probably,
I agree. I agree mostly with that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to lay down, but at the same time, it's going to be hard to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard to beat them. It's really going to be hard to beat them, man. Golden State is just hard to beat.
Yeah, but they have to be feeling like, I know they're feeling like, damn, I know we can get these guys,
They can beat them. It's just like, you cannot let them get into that Golden State mode, which is like, they hitting all their shots. They knocking all your passes out the air, all kind of weird shit. And you guys can't sit up and just take wild shots. You got to really be calculated, man. Because if you start doing all that, trying to do like Golden State does, throw the ball around and shoot up a crazy shot, it ain't gonna work for you. They got a mojo with that shit. They can do that,
Yeah.
Portland's better when they hit on everybody's hitting, but it's like Lillard and CJ, they gotta be hit. They can't miss a shot.
Yeah.
Everybody else can probably be okay, but they gotta be spectacular, man.
Right.
Because Golden State, Curry can have a bad game for the whole 2 quarters, but I'm telling you, the next 2 quarters, he's not gonna have a bad game. So you gotta watch out for that shit.
Right.
Because then if Curry's not hitting, you got Clay, you got Draymond, you got fucking Iguodala. You got all these other guys that can hit.
Man.
Then you got 2 other guys on the bench. Some other nigga Green and some other nigga come up and start hitting. You're like, where did he come from?
Yeah.
Who is this nigga? Like, god damn.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
It's too much. It's just like the Lakers, the Boston, the Bulls.
Right.
They all got them runs where it was just like, god damn, man, when they get in the playoffs, it's going to be hard to beat them.
Yeah.
They've been playing like shit all fucking season.
Yeah.
But when they get in the playoffs, it's going to be hard to beat them.
Yeah, and everything, they just have weapons upon weapons, and everything is just, very difficult and shit, so. Yeah, it's some good, I don't want to shit on it. There's still been some pretty good, games out of this. It's just, or moments sometimes, even if it wasn't, a great game. But we're getting some decent games. It's just that it's too bad it's not as competitive in the wins. I wish it was tighter.
Yeah.
But this to be expected. It happens. So the finals should be the best game. So that's what we should.
Yeah.
The Bucks and the Warriors, I think, are a great matchup. I hope. I really think they are, though.
Well, I just don't. I had already picked that at the beginning, and I'm glad it's coming out like that. But at the same time, it's like, wow. I didn't expect it to go this way, but yeah, I knew it was going to be those 2 teams, man.
Yeah.
I knew it. And it seemed like it's going to be that because I don't see Portland doing shit.
Well, let's see with the Raptors. I don't want I don't want to get too ahead because if they do tie it, then it does make it interesting. So, but but I still feel that the Bucks do have too much for them. So we'll see.
We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, cool. Well, I'll go ahead and sign out on the podcast and catch up with you guys this week.
We got Wednesday should be it. We should be to the finals by Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll be following up this week. For sure.
Yeah, this should be it. We should be at the finals. Because the finals will start Sunday, right? If everything goes right, if everybody loses.
Yeah, I think so.
They'll start Sunday.
I think so.
Wow, basketball season's over. Wow. It wasn't bad. Like I said, at least it wasn't. We didn't have the Lakers in there. We didn't have Cavaliers with LeBron and Bacon. You know, they
Right.
still talking that dumb shit, which I don't understand, but okay. A lot of great players don't make it, so I don't get why they so LeBron didn't make it. Wow,
I know, man. It's like,
yeah, really, I don't care.
it's like the guys had how many years straight? It's like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, really. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's like, I'm pretty sure he's disappointed, but at the same time, he's like, shit, I got tons of money.
Man. I'm sure he's enjoying the rest a little bit. Like, okay, fuck it.
Yes, man. I can take the rest of the season. I mean, I don't have to get back to work until, I got like 3 more months where he can just chill.
Yeah. Well, he's the type that's still not going to totally chill that much, but he's going to fucking still, get it, at least not to not be running around all the fucking time as, or whatever, and having that stress of the, you got to win and, keep going and all that shit. I mean, it's you're getting some relief. You're just able to collect yourself. You're able to, just kind of, I mean, that's a long run to keep going all these years. So, I don't know. It's we'll see how that translates when he gets into this next season. But we got enough time.
I think he's out of the Lakers. I don't think he's gonna be there.
They're gonna try to. They're trying to trade it. They're trying to make a trade with him or something.
I don't know what's really going on, but I think it's gonna be him. A lot of people will go run to New York, dude. I think they got a lot of money to waste, and I think they're just looking for a team to build over there. And look, I think New York gonna try to do a super Nick team where they're gonna get all these old aging nobodies and they might bring Iverson's ass out of retirement and go over and get Nate Robinson and a bunch of other motherfuckers in the big three and bring them over here or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? I just see them doing that.
Good luck. I don't know. I don't know if New York's gonna pull. I don't know if New York's gonna pull off anything that great.
No, I just think they're gonna get a bunch of garbage guys over there. They're gonna say they're doing this big transitional thing, but that's all that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
They're gonna get a bunch of old guys that ain't did shit in a while. Go get Spreewell's ass,
Spreewell.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that would just be a horror show. Like, what are we watching?
Yeah, Marbury, Spreewell, a couple other niggas that say, I'll never wear a Knicks uniform. They get them motherfuckers and have them play. Shit. That'd be awesome. Just get a bunch of nobodies over there. The Knicks will win everything. Let them win every fucking game. Fuck. They ain't gonna do shit, so they were so mad because they didn't get the first pick in the draft. That's what killed me. I was like,
I know that they're still getting the number 3, so it's like
they was crying, dude.
Oh, I know they're crying, man.
When they were saying that shit, everybody was saying New York was gonna get the first. Everybody was saying before the draft. They had me watching the draft just so I could see that New York.
I'm telling you, they've been wishing. This has like been they're just so tired of being just terrible. You know what I mean? They've had such a dry run. What is it, 1973? It's like, come on, man. Nobody even wants to say and try to get a little excited about all they have is to talk about is the 90s where they kind of had some shit, which it was fun to watch them. They had some good teams, really even great teams, but man, it's just like they have barely anything to hold on to. It's terrible.
Yeah, the last 5 years has been really deplorable, man. They've been really bad. So I
they haven't had a good time since Jeremy Lin had a nice fucking little run, man.
Wow, and you gotta think that was
the last time it felt like they were doing some shit or something,
Yeah, it was Jeremy Lin was like he put them on the map for what, a season or half a season? They was on the map, man.
Fucking nobody put you guys on the map. That's how bad it is.
Man. I remember sleeping on somebody's couch.
But meanwhile, you guys try to bring a Carmelo, and it's like, and then drag Phil Jackson's ass out of the grave and
man, and everybody's just so bad. Y'all couldn't wait to get him over there. Now y'all crying that he's there. Man, you guys are too fickle to New York, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's gonna be a fun year. But
This is gonna be crazy.
yeah, this next season, it's gonna be really crazy. So.
Wow.
All right, man.
All right, man.
I'm gonna wrap this up. Peace.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so just going to finish up the podcast here. Thanks for listening this week again. We're keeping this NBA recap going. It's early morning, not super early, but morning time here Monday. So obviously podcast going up just a little late, but nevertheless still pretty much on time. It's free, so you guys have nothing to say about it. No, I just kidding around. I try to keep it on pace for you guys. So, but yeah, it's a lot of action here coming up. I mean, of course, NBA, it's only down to these 2 games, so it's getting to the finals here, and I think everybody's looking forward to it. But I think feeling kind of I think probably if you asked most fans or people, you'd have to kind of admit the Warriors. I mean, they look really, really difficult to beat. So, but that's why we're here, and we'll see if whoever makes it can rise up to that challenge. If the Warriors indeed happen to go, I mean, we've got to give the Blazers some chance here because they got a game tonight, and which I hope they win. I hope they can. I wouldn't like to see a sweep, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. It doesn't look so good, but they're not. They've played well enough to show they can do it. They just have to close out. I mean, you just have to figure out a way to close out the game and keep them down. And even if you can't keep them down, you got to learn how to fucking turn it around for your own self. So they can't keep. They have to make reliable shots. They got to be more money. The team. That's what you're seeing at this point. It's really comes down to who can perform, who can execute, and no excuses, because everybody's getting a chance. It's not like this. There's the advantages of team and people are better, but if your team is good enough and you got to this point, then you should be good enough to fucking win. You just have to dig deep. You got to just, like I said, just be more consistent, at least enough. Maybe not everybody's going to be firing, but if you can get enough people firing off, then that makes the difference, So we'll see, but yeah, it's pretty cool, just kind of went fast at this point, when you look back, like, damn, those playoffs just came and now they're already pretty much gone, and here we are. So what a season. And then today, sorry, I have to take some water here. Just take a little swig from my new thermos I bought that is made by Thermos. Sorry if that was loud. The recorder's on a table, just my desk table here, so I have to be aware when I pick up and put down stuff. But yeah, I just got this thermos for a few bucks, and long overdue. My other bottle I had for a while, it was like, I don't know, man. It was just like kind of still like dirty inside of it, if you want to say, like from probably the different things I had in it. But I'd always clean it, but just when it'd be hard to clean, some of that, it just got into the plastic or whatever. So anyways, I had to ditch that thing because I was just like, you just start thinking more. It's like, what am I on a microbe level? Like, what am I getting? Is this can't be, am I getting mold and stuff? Like even little doses of it, is that good, or is it insignificant? I don't know. It's enough to think about it. So it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna I need a brand new bottle. It's ridiculous. I'm ridiculous when it comes to certain things. I just got, speaking of, holding on to things and not buying stuff. So I had this bag for my job, like people call it a satchel, maybe man purse. I don't really call it that. It's it was like a book bag. You could say a book bag, but it looks like it was like a new paperboy delivery bag almost. You know what I mean? It was just a regular. It's just a regular. It's still right here actually. It's a green, ugly green now. It's dirty. Kind of if you want to say like a jean type material, with a shoulder strap, and all that, pockets and all this stuff. But I've had this thing. Now it's kind of got a tear in the back from the one side, probably just from carrying stuff and, just time, you know what I mean? It starts ripping, whatever, but it's still usable, but it's dingy now. I mean, the color was an olive green, so it's already kind of a whatever color, but it's just, I never I could have washed it by now, and I never did that at least, so it's just got that look, and then it just is like, this is ridiculous, man. I can't keep going to different, to jobs or my job. I mean, honestly, nobody really is looking and caring like that, but you know what? It's not about that. It's like, I just don't want to carry this thing around anymore. So I finally yesterday went and got myself a new bag for like $30, man, and it was, again, I was looking around and trying to get, I knew I wasn't going to get that much better price-wise for something nice, So, but yeah, it's way better. It's way more like a slim look. It's like they're basically like a laptop bag now. But definitely going to do the job. It's, I don't even need that much stuff, honestly. It's not like I'm not like a contractor or some kind of job where I need a whole bunch of tools or something. All I need is like my headphones, I have some snacks in there, a couple other things, and that's it, So I've elevated, basically. Went all the way from back. Before I had the other bag, I used to just carry, I think I used to carry some of my stuff in just a regular plastic bag. It was just like, again, it was ridiculous, I mean, I was still early in that time of my change, because this was like when I got into this part of my career, what I do now. So I was like, it was like 2 years in, officially, almost 3. Yeah, practically. Yeah, it was more like over 2 years in. And, I just kept carrying it, just a generic bag with a couple stupid things in there, you know what I'm saying? And I think it was my wife at the time, who was my girlfriend, was like, would be like, come on, get something, like, what are you doing? Well, we were living together at that point. But she would just, like clown on it, which she was right by doing that, So I finally, all right, I'll get this kind of bag and all that. And even then, she wasn't that crazy about that bag, but it was at least like, okay, at least he stepped it up, But I can't believe it. I was just like, I started thinking of it more, and I'm just like, damn, I've had this bag, 12 years or so at least, I was like, damn, I can't believe that. So enough about the bag, but I'm sure you guys, we all have certain things like that. Maybe you have an old wallet still you keep holding on to. Like mine is kind of an old wallet now. Yeah, pretty much. It's a kind of older wallet now, so I need to probably switch that up too before it, just gets nastier looking. And I'm not going to give a promotion to Ridge Wallet, but that sounds like a really cool wallet. It's called Ridge Wallet. But I don't know. I think I still like a regular old wallet to put some receipts in, which is such a stupid habit anyways. Who cares about receipts? I still keep them. I'm bad, guys. I keep my stupid receipts. I guess, it's just like maybe just in case type thing. Like, oh, I should keep them. But nothing's ever gonna really happen with them. But I'm dumping off stuff. Thankfully, I'm not. I've been thankfully I could say I have been pretty good. Like I do. When it comes to that type of shit, I do have a certain amount of paper. I do have more than I need. There's certain shit I don't need. But I'm getting to that point again where I'm like, okay, let's get that filtered down. You know, and, but I do keep up on shredding stuff. I have, you know, if I had pictures of all the shit I shredded, it would look like, wow, that dude's, you know, it's probably 20 pounds of stuff over the years or something like that. I wouldn't doubt. I mean, like, maybe not 20, but a good bit. But, you know, I'm grateful, you know, thankfully kind of living in an apartment all these years, probably been kind of good because, you know, I could never have gotten out of control with my stuff, unless you want to live like that. But, you know, you still collect a certain amount of things, even in a small space. You know, but I lived about pretty much 6 years in a studio apartment. It was nice though. For a studio, it wasn't bad. It was at least like it had a decent amount of space, you know, for what it was for one room. But you know, it's a fucking efficiency, you know. It's like it gets kind of tough after a while. You're like, okay, you know, there's something about that for whatever reason, having that extra room. It's just something mental about it. But for some people, they don't trip as much. But, I mean, when I was younger at that time, I was in my 20s, so it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, but I did come from a larger place. I was living with a friend of mine before I came out here. My friend Ian, shout out to Ian. You never know. I have people that probably listen and don't tell me. You're like, yeah, I listen to you, man. But yeah, I was living with him. We were living above a store, but it was like a whole floor. It was 2-bedroom. Could have been really like it still was a 2-bedroom, but it could have been damn near a 3-bedroom because it was a really big like living room kind of area. Really a living room / dining room, but it was a big place, nothing special, really kind of dingy, but it was decent. You know, it wasn't for 2 guys. It didn't matter. It was like, hey, you know, I mean, that was when I was just 21. You know, so yeah, it was all right for a while, and you know, lived there, and then like I said, came, and right before that, I had a 2-bedroom actually. So I did have a period there of, you know, enjoying a big apartment, you know, and yeah, that was a nice. Well, the 2-bedroom with my roommate Ian was still big, but my other one before that was nicer, I would say. But anyways, long story boring. But you know, then I get here, live in that efficiency, then, you know, live with my girlfriend Renee at the time, who's now my wife, and who you've heard on the podcast for any long time. She hasn't been on for a while. I need to get her on. Really no excuse. I just need to get her on. But let's see here. Okay, just looking at the time, guys. I'm good on time. I'm just checking. So, anyways, and yeah, that was her place at the time, which was, you know, down in the hood, not far from USC and all that. But it was, that was like in a house. So it was like, we were sharing, like, it was like a triplex. So we had a piece of that, which was 2-bedroom, kind of narrow, but it had room, it had a decent amount of room in there. It was, you know, it just could have been a better, you know, again, it needed updated. It wasn't taken care of properly at all. Yeah, that was probably kind of it was kind of probably one of the not roughest, but like not so kept up places, that we probably stayed and whatever. But it was, it wasn't. It was one of those places. I didn't hate it though, man. I always like, it was one of those places you're like, damn, this could just be that much cooler, nicer, But definitely it got to the point where it was time to get the hell out of there. So, and then we went from that and got into a 1-bedroom out here in the valley. Stayed there for some time, and then now, since then, been in this 2-bedroom for quite a few years. So, crazy journey. But yeah, I've lived in all those. Those are like all the places I've lived. I've lived mostly out here in the valley, overall. And probably, yeah, I guess in my life, even when I was little before we left, I guess if you add it all up, it's like, no, I've really lived out here in the valley more than any place. So yeah. But, yeah, beautiful, speaking of, beautiful weather out today. We've had some rain this weekend, which was nice, and doesn't usually happen in May, but this year it is. So we'll see. It's like a cool May, so far nice and slow to the summer, which is pretty much fine with any of us because summer goes long here, so we don't need to get really kicking just yet. But I'm sure tourists that come out here do expect it, to some degree. They're at this point, but you got to look ahead of time and do some research to see. But typically, yeah, May is not a guarantee, but it can get hot sometimes at this time of year. I mean, that's pretty much a given. Almost any time of year, you could get a little heat wave. You might get here on the right weekend, but meanwhile, a week before it could have been all, chilly, and then you come for that weekend that it heats up. So you just never know. But yeah, I would say to tourists, if you're coming out to California and you want summer weather, probably wait till July after the 4th, or come for the 4th, man. Actually, yeah, if you're coming from far, if you want to come for something, yeah, come to America for the 4th, man. Definitely. I would say, why not? And here in LA, it's nuts. You'll see some fireworks. Between the 4th and New Year's now, more and more, a lot of fireworks, but especially the 4th. Especially the 4th. So, yeah, and you could go and sit somewhere, but you know what? My other tip, and this is for people who live here too, man. You could go to a place and watch them, and I'm not saying not to. That's cool, but I'll tell you another great way to do it is get on the freeways. Get on the freeway like 8:30 or something, or 8:45, and start cruising. Find a route you want to do or something like that, depending on where you live. And fucking do that for a good hour, and you're going to see a ton of fireworks from the freeway. And you're not going to have to deal with all the bullshit, trying to sit and get a spot and all that shit. You could still, I think that's even better than anything. Like, if I had kids, I would probably just do that. Maybe not every year, but, I don't know, man. I think that's, seriously, it's fucking awesome. Yeah, but there's a lot of, there's a lot of things, a lot of different, like anywhere, there's a lot of fireworks, but it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot out here. There's a lot of places. For a place that, they can't really sell them and all that type of nonsense, which they have to be that way, but, man, it doesn't do nothing really. There's always, because even if outside of, like, people that are just doing them randomly, even if they're in controlled areas, there's still quite a few fucking fireworks out there. So, but it doesn't matter. People don't give a shit. They just light them up. And you know what? Relatively speaking, thankfully, not bad. There's not too many, at least that I know of. I'm sure there's some numbers of injuries or things that have happened, but it's kind of small. So, which pretty crazy, because like I'm telling you, if you guys probably have seen the pictures or video by now, but it goes off, man. It goes off out here. So, So yeah, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, if you don't come for right at the 4th, that's fine. It's like I said, you do want to catch California when it's a warmer time of year. Sorry, I'm just getting my gonna plug in some stuff. That's my new bag I opened. But yeah, if you want to make sure you're gonna come out here and get some nice hot weather, you got to come at that time of year. But again, be aware, most of you guys want to stay down by the beach, and that's great, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, but just be aware, even in that time, it could be kind of chilly, so you want to at least bring some kind of sweatshirt for the evenings, or, light stuff. You don't have to bring heavy duty shit, but you want to be a bit prepared, because but it could, if it gets hot enough, it's going to be probably fine, but a lot of times, the beach, you're always going to have some cool weather at night. Even if it's a kind of hot day, it's going to cool down. It goes about 20 degrees. The whole damn area does that pretty much, There's big, that's the thing. It's still a desert pretty much in this area, It just doesn't, you don't think of it quite as the desert, but it is, It's more, because it's kind of grown out and you have irrigation. But but in the surface of it, it's really it's a desert. So you got to treat it as such. So, now I got you all prepared with that. Now, people pretty much, if you're coming out here, if you do any little bit of research, you should kind of know that. Just like if somebody's going to Florida in the summertime, it's like, or even right now, it's like, there or any certain humid area, you got to realize at some point, yeah, the weather is going to be gross and sticky, and that's just what it is there. And if you get some nice days, then you got lucky, So yeah, it's so easy these days. But I guess there was a point years ago that you wouldn't quite know, or you would just really go by a lot of hearsay. But which I guess worked okay, people would find out. But anyways, so yeah, the podcast, keeping it rolling. I'm actually in the midst of about to order some things. We're going to be upgrading, guys, so really actually I already have an upgrade I have to test. I already have a current mic, but I needed a cord. I had a cord, but I don't know where the heck it went. They're going to be somewhere. I know they're in one of these, somewhere I have them, but I didn't feel like digging through every damn thing, so I just bought another cord. So I just got to plug it in and give that a shot and probably just start recording on that. So, going to be getting more audio upgrades, guys. I'll still be probably doing some on this, this style with this, recording device, but we'll see. It might change. I might still use the device, but I might be actually plugging a mic into it. So I gotta get it up. I gotta get more pro so I can get this to be more attractive and, start getting some sponsors involved and make this more of a, an actual, like, full-time, I could really, like, put my energy into it, trust me, if I have the money and time to really do this show properly, forget it. I'll definitely I have no problem getting certain guests, and it would just be, it'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. And I'm not even talking about the biggest guests per se. I even on smaller levels, but again, I'm here in Hollywood. What else are we supposed to do? I should be going after and getting the biggest people possible and all that type of shit. But, in the meantime, I think it's also important. I want to get people that aren't the biggest necessarily, but they may have good stories or they're doing something business-wise, stuff like that. So, there's a lot of other people out there, because the thing is, if you're a podcast listener, you've heard everybody. A lot of, if you've done the circuit of listening, you've heard a lot of famous people already at this point. I could get those same people, or maybe I can get some new ones. I think I'd rather get some new ones maybe that haven't done a podcast. But even more than that, I'd like to get, I think it's get some interesting people, not really worried about the stardom levels, So, but at the same time, hey, it is the way to go. I mean, people do want to hear what famous people have to say for whatever. We all do. It's just the way it is. And look, there's interesting people out of them. It's not that it's not a vacant thing all the time. Oh, they're just famous and that's it. No, there's some that they have some shit. You'd be like, oh, okay, you never know. But and a lot of this too is people become famous through the podcast, which is interesting. So yeah. So overall, it's said and done. Like I said, I just want, as I've reiterated different times, I'm just looking to get more, to that point where we're getting more guests, getting, where it's more variety, obviously some more shows. I would love to, again, this is in my dream world. I have a full-time staff of, let's say I have all I need is about 3 other people, that are going to do all the more behind the scenes. They could do this technical work. They could produce, let me just be kind of the talent, so to speak. You know what I mean? I would have that kind of person, somebody that's going to make the, schedule the fucking podcast and stuff. Just like all these other guys. So yeah, if I had that little team of just 3, I don't need more than that probably. Probably even one other person, you'd be surprised what you could do. But, if I had that and we got a certain income where I could, basically I could do that. I don't have to really work. Man. Yeah, I would do about 4 podcasts a week for sure. I'd probably end up doing more. But, no, I'd probably do about 4, just like 4 really good ones. Yeah, so that, that's maybe, that's something I should, look forward to and all that. But in the meantime, I gotta, do the rudimentary stuff. And it's just literally updating equipment. Everything else is already in place. You guys could find me. That's already established. There's a little bit of other things with that I could do, but that's all fine. Now it's just the consistency's already there. I've established that. Now it's just more, better equipment and some more interesting guests. Or guest period, I've had on a few people, but it's mostly just been people I know. I haven't stepped out too much from that. Which is, again, that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people end up having people they know on their podcast. It's going to be better. They know each other. And that's good, but I think you got to reach out and get other people because those are people you're going to end up getting to know and you'll have back on the show. So, I'm not, I'm not overlooking those things. So let's see, what else did I want to bring up? Oh, Drake was at the game last night. Let's go back to talking about the game a little bit. But yeah, Drake was there as usual. He's a Toronto native. And but he roots for different teams, much like a lot of the celebrities would. But he's, he has been a big Raptor supporter, so you can't front on that too much. But he was doing some Spike Lee type shit, little jaw jacking with Giannis, just from his end. I don't think Giannis even gave a shit or paid attention, but he might have. I mean, I just couldn't tell. But it's like, man, don't let that shit bite you in the ass. Better watch it there, Drake. He's already brought so much bad luck to different teams, or at least gets used as the person that has brought bad luck. There's always a picture of him with that particular team shit on, and it's like they lost this playoff when he was there with this, so he's been like this schlep rock in a way. So, if I was Giannis, I would have went, hey man, don't you have a love song to write? I would have said some shit like that for sure. And he might, I don't know. If anybody's in the NBA listening to this knows Giannis, go ahead and tell him to say that shit, please. By all means, take it. So, oh, that's cool. So, no, I'm just looking here. They had, shout out to Chill Hop Music. I'm on Twitter right now. Chill Hop Music, they're on YouTube, obviously Twitter and stuff like that, but they, if you haven't heard their station, they do a 24/7 station. You could just chill, listen to music, but it's hip-hop, but like, I didn't know this, I'm just learning about it now, but it's played like old school style, but these kids they're got like bands, essentially. They're playing they're playing in a loop style of things, but they're using guitars and horns and everything, and keyboards, live drum stuff, and it's just I would call it almost, it's not to knock it at all, actually, it's a better version, but it's like hip-hop elevator music, like if there's elevator music of hip-hop, it would be this, but it's better, but it's more, it's actually better than that. I'm just giving it that description and the chillness of it, because elevator music, that was always like a snide, that was like always a knock, like, oh, you got elevator music. That was like, oh shit, your shit's horrible. But over the years, I think that's kind of been looked at differently. I think there's some respect now that people know more. It's like, oh no, if your shit's played in elevators, you still getting checks, dude. So they could knock it all they want. You're still getting played. But yeah, it's very much, it is like in that vibe. But it's dope, and it's free. It's free. These stations on YouTube, man, Chill Hop Music, and then you'll kind of start finding other ones from there. There's quite a few of them, and I'm sure there's people own a couple of these accounts or more, and in some cases, it's just dope. There's a lot of cool shit out there, and there's other music like that you could find, I think, live, like jazz and shit like that. But I love it, man. I freaking love chilling and listening to some of that stuff, and just making it a part of my day. It's been more of what I do. I don't listen to, I don't really go out of my way to try to listen to all the new pop music. I hear it enough. I already know what's out there, but then I'm also aware that that's not it. Like, that's just giving us the biggest artists, the ones that are the loudest, and always, it's just the top Billboard type artists and the people that go after that. It's just what that music's gonna be like. So I don't need to really discover much. I mean, the only other thing I could do with that is some of them, look into them, and there's great artists in there. It's just there's certain top 40 or certain rotation of songs that just get played all the time. But within those, within that top 40 or how many ever, there are some really good artists still. I'm not shitting on them. I have to listen to, like, their albums more instead of just always hearing what's radio. That's the fucking thing I gotta do. So, I just haven't got into that. I really should get, like, Apple Music or one of these things and just start delving into it that way. So, we'll see. Maybe I'll get into it. I'll get into it coming up this year. But right now, it's fine. I still, I could still get a pretty good run of music. And honestly, if I really YouTubed it, I could probably find some people sharing some great stuff on there too. I just like the way to look on YouTube, and also obviously the free factor of it. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. But that's how I listen to my stuff a lot lately overall. But support artists out there. Look, I gotta do more myself too, man. I haven't been purchasing like I used to at all, and I should purchase a little bit. I don't need to purchase a lot, but I should be purchasing at least 10 or 15 albums a year, whether it's digital. I still like physical though too. I can't help it. That's just me. But I could get that many. per year. That wouldn't be too crazy. Well, digitally I could get whatever. I shouldn't put a limit on that. I should be getting about 20, 50 things, digitally when it comes to that, really, at this point. But I can't front, man. You get stuck into, a certain point in life when you get, you do get older, you do get kind of, you just change on music, and it's not even that, you just like, you got to where for me, it's like there's just so many years of music I already listened to and liked and grew with. And so that kind of gets into you. It's kind of part of you. And then at some age, probably I would say now for me, it's like, it just happened more like within the last 10 years or so. Somewhere after age 30, then it just like the music to me got less, of my type of, what I would like, just, it started, just slipping away a bit like that. And, but there's always some stuff since there's always been music and songs since then that I do like, so I can't sit there in front. It's just that it just got to that point where my interest was waning, I wasn't getting the same lift out of these artists, and nobody was giving me that like motivation of like, I need to purchase this guy's stuff. And then I think too, to be honest, working in the industry and once I got in and getting around these people and being less like into fame or being so impressed because I know that much more. And it's not to diminish anybody, it's just that you just get familiar, and it's not like it's not a big deal. And then too, when you live here, like it just definitely becomes no big deal because they just live here. You start looking at them as like they're just other people, really. They're really famous. They do some crazy stuff maybe, or they're looked at as crazy, but at the end of the day, they're really doing normal shit too, like other people. They're just, they're just promoting themselves in a certain way, and they have, these parties and things they got to do and all this shit. But anyways, it's like, I don't know. You just when you're around it, I don't think of it the same way. Like I don't. Yeah, I guess too. It's like the magic. It takes away it's taken away the magic. But even if I wasn't here, like there's so much more out there you could find out now and learn. With the industry now. Of course, there's a ton of stuff about the industry and Illuminati and secret society type shit and all these things. And hey, man, I personally haven't been up close to anything like that or know. But at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me in a certain way because that's in any part of society, really. It's not just locked into just Hollywood. It's in every neighborhood. Or a lot of neighborhoods. I shouldn't say every one of them, but yeah, there's Freemasons everywhere. It's just, when it comes to the industry, it gets looked at a little different because, it's embedded in, they're saying, looking at their videos and marketing and all the embedded, language of that stuff is in there. And you could get into that, there is symbolism. That I wouldn't deny that, man. It gets crazy, but it's like one of those things. It's like you could go down that box and all that, but that's not. At the same time, that's not everyday shit in the industry. There is a real working parts to it type thing, and promotion and all that stuff. But when it comes to that, I don't know. What else does that mean? Because as far as I see, it's like, well, you maybe have some symbolism going on, and they're throwing in the videos and things like that. There's a lot of messaging. You could go into that, maybe the lyrics and shit, what they're they're pumping in their content. You could definitely go into debates and talk about that. But that's really about it. You know, there's not much else because they're artists. They go and do their shows. They spend their time however. They usually are partying or going to clubs or maybe just nothing. But, you know, what are you going to do? Start following people's every moves and got to, you know, figure out if who's with what place. You know, I don't know. I think a lot of them will be pretty honest with you if you ask them bluntly anyways. Hey, are you a Freemason? You know, some may not. Some may really avoid that question. And then that kind of tells it right there if you want to find out. But I don't know, man. It's just, but I you know, it is interesting, and there's a lot of stuff about that, you know, obviously. So I had to bring it up because if you start looking into music business stuff on YouTube, you're gonna start running across things like that, you know. So it's, you know, it's a trip. But yeah, it's, you know, look, it's a wild place out here, guys. I mean, you know, there's some fucking trippy ass motherfuckers out here, no doubt, you know, and you could definitely you could get caught up in some wild situations, you know, but again, like I said, that's really available in any place to me. It's not just, again, just unique to just here, but yeah, I guess you could probably run into the wrong guy around here, you know, or girl, you know. Yeah, there's when you have a place like Hollywood and you know what that attracts, because people want to be, you know, they have issues, you know. It's you have people that do come and they have issues, and some maybe they do have talent, many that don't, but they just feel like they should be somebody, and you know, that this is the place for them to come to, or whatever, or it's always like this is the place to come and escape, you know. And that kind of thing can be tricky, you know. So you get some people that kind of drift around, and you got others that are taking advantage of that, those people that are drifting around. So yeah, you gotta be careful out there, but you know, I just think it's only because it's that many more people, it's a bigger deal. But because in any cities, those similar things can still go down, or do go down, you know. Like in Pittsburgh, you could still run into the wrong crowd there. You could still deal with the wrong people. You could still, you know, end up with a real shitty life. Absolutely. So there's no doubt that any part of this country, you know, we've seen it, you know, depicted in the shows, you know, like Breaking Bad and things like that. That's real shit out there that's going on, and not even necessarily in the heroin ways, but you know, all kinds of shit. So just got to look at it. You got to be real with it. But people like to, it's easy to just dump on Hollywood, and Hollywood's the worst in the cesspool, and and it's not just from the outside. People here, we do it too. People here, we shit on Hollywood and get down on you know, all that stuff too. And I could see why. There's a lot to bitch about with it, man. There's a lot of as we've learned more and more recently with all the sex stuff and, you know, different abuses. Yeah, it could be real not cool. I mean, look, you know, thankfully it wasn't like a real fucked up situation, but still, I was being, you know, overworked, underpaid, you know, type thing with the producer I worked with, you know. But it was part of it was like, hey, that's the gig I signed up for. But, you know, he did, you know, take advantage of some things, because it shouldn't have been that way, being in a freelance type status. So, but that's why you have to, you know, stand up for yourself, and, you know, you're not bound to anybody. You're not enslaved. So you have to just do what you got to do. And look, that's the good part. When you're not making a lot of money, when you're already not making much money, but you know you're a good worker and everything else, that's not a bad thing all the way, because you know what? You could lose those jobs and get them real easy, because there's so many that you're going to have available. As long as you're somewhat flexible, you may not do the same thing you did, but I'm just saying, pay wise, you could make up for that. So that was good that I was in that position in a way, because you start making a little bit more, then you can get kind of trapped, because now you're kind of living in that realm and you can't afford to lose, So yeah, it could be that and that happens to people, and not just in Hollywood. So you got to be careful. You got to be, do the best you can with that, but you got to be careful. So yeah, that's my Hollywood talk for now. Yeah, I'll be getting more stuff into that, whole thing. Yeah, in terms of the dark sides of Hollywood. No, I don't know. No, we could get into some. I'm gonna get into some stuff, man. There's actually been some shit. It was E that did a good one on Hollywood like that. Like, you could look it up on YouTube. It's like secret. They were like secret clubs. You could probably look it up as Secret Clubs Hollywood, stuff like that. And they did a whole thing on these, like secret society type clubs, or, they're known. So yeah, look, it does exist, and they're not just the Freemason. It's and some might be connected in some fashion, but, and some are, like I said, they're straight up. You could be straight up with the Masons out here. That's easy. They're all over the place. But these other membership type deals and underground whatever, look, they go on. They're out there, and a lot of it could be to some degree kind of just fun. It's just like clubbing. And is there more stuff going on? Maybe. I don't know. That's the whole mystery all the time then. What's in behind the closed door. So that's why you have the, what is it, the Stanley Kubrick film, Eyes Wide Shut. It's, yeah, look, that's happened, and it's going down somewhere probably. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm sure you can't, if look at all the things humans have done and do. It's like, yeah, you could imagine that there's real shit to that, but yeah, masquerade parties, all that's real stuff. Those still go on. Go to New Orleans. New Orleans got a ton of that all the time. Out here, definitely you're gonna find them if you want. But there's other parties, so yeah, it's that whole type of stuff. It's again partially. It's been here, part of it, yeah, it's already been here, it's embedded, but it's also, again, you got a lot of people, you're going to bring those people out. In a place like here, you're going to bring out, this is if you're a freak, or, you're into a different life, people want to come out here, they don't want to deal with and be in the square, corny little place they came from, so they come out here to be cool, so to speak, or whatever they think it is. It's silly if you really think about it, but I don't know. That's what it is, man. It's just because also it's the place itself does it. I mean, this is a spoiling kind of place. We got these great views around us with mountains and nature, and you got the beach nearby. I mean, even though sometimes you could be kind of unconnected to that because you could be just in your, in and out of buildings, and you're not really, you might be near nature, but you're not in it. But it doesn't take much for you to get to it. You look around and you're like, oh, you can go right up to Griffith Observatory. You can go right up to Runyon Canyon. You can, all around this city, there's different parks, and, even your little local parks are nice. And, there's some that are not great, but I'm just saying there's there's a lot of access really out here when it comes to that. So it's, I don't know, it's something about maybe having sun all the time, and it's just something about the attitude and just kind of what it is out here. People are it's very, just more accepting. You're not going to be judged, and nobody has time to do all that. And besides, like, it's so big, like, nobody's paying attention to you that close like that, really, except for people that maybe, and stuff like that. Which, even again, that's in our head. Nobody's thinking about each other all that much as we make it to be. But yeah, it is a place you can, because the thing is, you could come and disappear out here if you want to. You don't have to, you could be around a lot of people, but you don't have to know everybody, so I think it's, I kind of like that, I mean, I knew the thing that I liked when I came back, and I say came back because I was little when I was here, I was born here, but, what was I going to say? But yeah, when I came back again, I was right at that age of obviously completely dating and just being single, but I was coming here really to get into the business, music and all that, which I, did do, but, I was like, still like, hey man, I'm still a young guy, and I'm still trying to get in the scene and all that, but, it was a trip, man. It was a trip. It was just, it was really fun, because it was like, man, there was just, to me, the difference of, like, the girls, the women left and right, it was just, like, blowing my mind every day. It was, like, overwhelming there for a time here and there, and, but, I'm not gonna, I didn't really, like, go crazy, as crazy as I probably could have, I guess, but I still was really busy. it was hard for me to get, my social life going sometimes. And then I got to points, I did get a, long-term girlfriend before, and, which was cool, but I had my fun out there, let me tell you. I did still have my fun, so not all bad at all, but man, it was nuts. It was just coming from Pittsburgh, which was cool. I was doing fine out there. I had a good actually had a good girlfriend. That I left. That I left at the time, but it was one of those things I had to. I really felt that I needed to, because I just wasn't, I wasn't advancing there, and I wasn't happy, So I knew I had to make that shift, and it was tough, man. It was tough to do something like that, but at the end of the day, I don't regret it, because there's nothing, it's not really much to regret like that. That's silly. But anyways, yeah, and we're still cool or whatever, but and she's doing great, so good, happy for her. But yeah, I came out, and it was just that much of a shift, because back there it was like I said, it was all right, it was cool, but to be just single all the time in Pittsburgh and doing all that, not the greatest. I didn't dig that, and really even here too, to be doing that all the time. But I would say that here's probably that much more fun, though, because you have the big difference is you have such a place to run around with, and it's like it is the playground, so to be falling in love or like whatever, just into some chick, or she's in, just literally maybe you're just fucking and shit like that. But it's perfect. It's a great place for it, or it can be, because, you got all these places to go stay at this hotel, or stay at the beach, or near the beach, or It's like you get to be on a vacation in a way, or you can, it's different. It's different. You don't have that in Pittsburgh, It's like you have, yeah, you could stay at a couple hotels or some shit, but you're probably not. You're going to stay at each other's house, and then you're going to eventually shack up maybe, or break up, and then, you're back out there again, and then you're running into the same people because it's way smaller, so the circles, it's tough to get any type of big circle out there because everybody kind of knows each other, or it can be weird. But I mean, I'm not saying you can't. You can't. You could still get around out there. You just have to really, you'd have to just kind of get out there a bit. But it's just different. It's more localized. It's not the same here. It's everything's far apart. It just lends to different things, but yeah, it's not for everybody though, man. I would say that there was I'd say the difference in the women here versus there is different for sure. They're more the problem is you're gonna have, honestly, like when you're out, you're gonna go out and you're gonna be trying to meet like wherever, Hollywood, Santa Monica. I don't know, man. It's gonna be common. It's common to meet stuck up kind of girls, or they're hard to get. It's a bit different. You have to kind of. I felt like you had to be a little more aggressive out here, whereas back east the girls could be more aggressive or more forthcoming out there. Here I think there's a little more hard to get. There's more of a bitchiness sometimes, to be honest. Which, that's not all bad. That can be nice. But yeah, it could be, but that's not for everybody. That could be a turnoff, or, yeah, it could feel like you're not going to find, you could feel like you're not going to find that girl out here that's sweet or something, but they exist. You just have to really look. And, I'd say now though, it's much better, because at least now with the apps, that sounds like it's helped, I think. I don't know if all of it's good, but in dating terms, I think it's helped. It's made it probably easier. Yeah, you could get to more of somebody you might be into, opposed to just, hooking up at the bar with a ring. I don't know. I think I could see. I never used it. I haven't. Not looking to. Yeah, like I'm married, so it wouldn't be a good idea. But even so, just even as a joke, it would be weird. But I can see how that it could be okay. Like, it probably can help in some ways. You can. Just depends how you use it. If you get quick to just meeting them and you didn't kind of filter them early, yeah, you might not be happy. But again, I don't think it's all bad, because the bottom line is it's easy to connect. People are cool with it now. It's not a big deal. So I don't think that's bad, because again, just stumbling around in bars, that's nothing to look on and go, oh, that's just the way to meet people. I mean, again, I think it's fine, and I think you should do real social meeting, because how's that going to work well for the Tinder thing, you know what I mean, or whatever the app you're using. Like, if you're not somewhat social already, that awkwardness isn't going to help you when you know what I mean? So I think you got to do both. I think you got to still get out, be social, get around people, at least do the best you can. Go to Starbucks, go out to a fucking mall, whatever. Just get around people, you know. Go to a bar. Go to a bar. Strike up a conversation with some random girl, and you know, if you get numbers and you do all that, then great. If not, then that's fine too. So, but yeah, I think you know, and people and young people do it. I'm sure it's not like that's people is I don't know. Like I think we as we get older, like people think that, oh, you know, we think we know what young, you know, like, oh, young people, they're not doing this and they're not doing, you know, if there's any hint of something real different, it's like, oh, they're, you know, they're all this and they're all that. And it's like, just like it gets done to old people. But it's not even, that's not even close, man. I think young people, there's still plenty of them. Yes, they may be using all the apps per se, but they're still going out. They're still getting around each other. You just have either your social types or your non-social types, you know. So, but anyways, well, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. I went a lot longer than I was looking, but hey, it's good for you. So, anyways, you guys enjoy the week. I hope it does well for you. Do well to it, as you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Treat yourself well, and we'll be back. All right.